Welcome. Today we are talking about a kind of interesting topic, which is the science of shoplifting. We talk about how people work here at the Science People, and shoplifting is much more common than you would think. In fact, our first question is to warm you up.
So our first question is, how much do you think the retail industry loses every year due to shoplifting?
What number amount? Is it in the thousands, millions, billions? So the answer is that organized retail crime costs the retail industry approximately $30 billion each year. Whoa. And they think that last year it's growing. So 83% of merchants surveyed reported an increase in the past year. So this is getting worse and worse. Next question, which I find a little bit terrifying, is how many people admit to shoplifting at one point in their life? Any ideas? How many people? How many people? Tell them the answer, Danielle.
33%.
33% of people. That is a lot of people. So this is a serious issue, and I wanted to talk about how do you prevent it? What do you watch out for, whether you work in retail or you're just a concerned citizen? I think the science of shoplifting is pretty interesting, and Danielle has an inside track on this. She's going to share some stories from her past.
Yes. So in my previous life, I worked in retail. So I worked at a retail store here in Portland, a women's clothing store. I'll leave out the name to protect my family there. But there were a few specific red flags that we picked up on. We had shoplifting happen almost every other day at our store. So there were
Every other day.
Insane. So there were very specific cues that we were trained to look out for. The first red flag is if someone enters the store that's not your typical customer. So our typical customer was a middle-aged female professional woman looking to level up her career wardrobe. If a group of 4 to 5 teenagers come in, that's not our typical customer. That's a red flag. Mm-hmm. Next red flag to look out for is anyone carrying a big bag, whether that's a backpack or a large purse or one of those reusable grocery bags. Typically, shoplifters want to shovel in as much merchandise as they can.
So this really surprised me because I always thought like a pickpocketer would take like one small item and just like tuck it in.
Yeah, no finesse at all. It's literally the shovel as much as they can get. Typically, it's a very fast process. So it's not a lot of browsing and let me see this.
Wow.
It's in and out very quickly. Next red flag is traveling in groups. So just like we mentioned in a previous video on pickpocketing.
Watch that video.
Yes. Woo.
Somewhere. Yeah, somewhere.
Shoplifters will travel with a lifter and the distractor, sometimes multiple distractors. So if 2 people come in, one will distract the associate or the manager asking for sizes, asking how to get directions to another store, while the lifter is actually in action doing the shoplifting.
And they both run?
They both run. Oh. It's interesting because you know it's happening, and so trying to get security or other things involved, that's why they're typically moving very fast.
Wow. Okay, so the lifter and the distractor is there. You sometimes can come in pairs.
Yeah.
And by the way, so Robbie did some really cool research for us and found that so not only large shopping bags, but also large coats for people to slide things into their coats. Also that they tend to avoid eye contact, so they don't want to be seen or noticed specifically, so they're trying to not see. However, they're typically watching the staff, not the merchandise. This again surprised me because I always thought, they're picking the thing they want to steal.
Right.
But actually, you said that a lot of times they come and return the items they stole.
Exactly, and oftentimes to the same store. Just like you could go to the same store elsewhere, but no. So something to look out for if you do work in the retail industry is if they're returning lots of the small sizes. So in most stores, the sizes are organized from extra small to extra large with the smaller sizes on top. So if it's 5,000 extra smalls of the same shirt in different colors, then that would be a red flag. So if you know your return policy where you could offer store credit instead of giving cash back, that would be ideal.
Wow, because they're taking the top size of each thing.
Exactly.
Okay, so they're going to be looking at the staff more than the merchandise because they're trying to see if they're going to be caught. They don't really care what they're stealing, which also I had no idea. They typically seek shelter in dressing rooms to stash smuggled merchandise into their bags. They can lurk in corners where they're not easily seen, which makes sense, right? They're trying to survey. Also, they tend to take advantage of busy stores during peak hours because then obviously the associates are distracted. You might not even realize something's been stolen until hours later.
Well, if you think about Black Friday, you go into any store, it's pure chaos. I mean, there's things on the floor and the sizes aren't organized. So that's extra special attention in those holiday hours, peak hours for shoplifters.
This one made me really laugh, but it's also horrifying, which is if they're walking with short or unnatural steps, is a tip-off that the customer may be concealing items between their legs.
Waddle.
So if you see any waddlers, they might have it. It's a pretty like smart idea. Or I was thinking like a baby bump. You could like tuck something into a fake baby bump.
I really like that one.
And they actually, so on here it says there's an arsenal of professional tools. Articles as innocent as bulky packages, pocketbooks, baby carriages, knitting bags, umbrellas, newspapers and magazine can be used to carry stolen goods. Even an oversized arm sling can help the shoplifter conceal merchandise. So watch out for those weird props. And lastly, loitering or lingering in one area, especially if it's right near an exit or a door. So I find this interesting. Any last tips that I forgot?
I think we covered a lot.
So I just think this is really interesting because it's a little bit surprising, and you want to watch out if you're a concerned citizen or if you work in retail. We even have some actual videos of shoplifting you can watch. We created a Science of Shoplifting playlist just because it's fascinating. You can watch some of these shoplifters in action to make sure you arm yourself with the weapons you need to protect yourself. Stay safe from the science people. Thank you so much for watching.
Bye.